Whoa, let's see. Whop up. Wow. Put that on the analog. If I just switched it over to switch it there. Yeah, the mix levels are a little bit low on the surround on this. A little bit higher on the stage channels. Oh, I can change that, balance that. Feel that. Whoa, feels like an earthquake. Wow. I just feel it on my chest. No, no, don't shoot them. The surrounds got a bit of a timpani. Boom, boom, boom. Got a nice bit of timpani in the surround. Nice bit of bass, a bit of buffalo. Yeah, that's typically what I kind of heard when I was watching this on a Cinerama screen downtown. It had an interesting sound. It was very spatial. Few dialogue, some pans moving around and everything. And yeah, it was a longer running time than The Godfather Part 3. And The Godfather Part 3, where I saw that at the other cinema, it just made me fall asleep until that helicopter came down, dun 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 dun, dun and shot all the gangsters. That was about the only interesting part of the bloody film. But dances, though it's slow driven and dialogue, but it had a nice atmospheric. And those buffaloes going. That's only going into the regular surrounds. There's the which is it easier to turn off the amplifier or turn on, go into, because it's so fiddly. I should have a master switch where I can just mute the regular surrounds. What's quicker? Because there's no. It's probably quicker just to go in, to turn off the amplifier, and then just come back in the room. Where is it? See, the time I'm wasting here, I could just turn the amplifier off and then just switch over to the overhead surrounds, because that's how I heard Dances with Wolves, with overhead surround. Yeah, 90. Yeah, overhead. Yeah. So it takes bloody few moments for the bloody thing to bloody open up. I'll switch the switch box over to channel B. And I'll think on the what's it? So I'm going in the kitchen. Okay, switch the other things on. Okay, and then you got a clue in there. Crikey, it's so fiddly. I've got to make a master switch, sort of So it just mutes the. I've got no rack space for doing that. In any case, it's something that I don't need. Okay, okay, mute the. See, it takes seconds to mute that. It only takes about 10 seconds for me to walk in. That's 5 seconds there and 5 seconds back. Only takes, well, actually less than 10 seconds probably. All right, done that, so they're muted. So they'll be on the overhead now. What do the buffaloes sound like when they go overhead? I've got to back it up because I haven't played that, but there. Yeah, that's got a bit more of a presence of overhead now because of some of the middle higher frequencies, and when you hear the foot hoofs of the buffalo, they sound like overhead. Yeah, so I'm doing it exactly more or less a little bit improved than the Odeon Screen 1, but not the same size of the auditorium. Oh wow. Still got some bass in the. They do it. I'm sure they're using the same scene, and they're just different camera or something. Can you imagine having a buffalo running into you? That's going to be a tremendous lot of foot pounds. I think you'd be in. I don't think you'd be in A&E. I think you'd be in the what's it? Yeah, one of them. That's a lot of bass. Buffalo bass. Let's get the screen channel. Oh, this one's coming around. Oh yeah. Stay on target. Stay on target. Oh wow. Oh, feel that stage channel foley there as the Indian falls off the horse and boom. Feel that on the stage channel. Oh yeah. tell you, it sounds very, oh, makes my ears feel dizzy. It's very disorientating. Bass rumble moving around. But you think of all the hoofs, or all the individual buffaloes. They're all individuals, like my fingers moving. But what you're hearing is partly maybe individually, you hear the difference in the left, you hear a difference in the center, a difference in the right, discreetly mixed. But you need more speakers. You need more speakers. So I did a test the other day. So I stuck a earplug in my ear, one side. So I want to listen to the phenomena and just take something, maybe something like that, and I can make a sound with that, and then just put it on one side where my ear is, sorry, above, and then moving it like that. I can't hear on this side because I've got an earplug in. Now I don't want to do it there, because if I do that, I can hear in cavity sound. I hear in cavity, so I've got to use, this side. But I can perceive that moving, one ear. It's very spatial. So I'm just scratching the surface. So really, realistically, again, it's Dolby Atmos and all this Atmos mixing. Techno, Dad, hey, get real. It's all bullshit, because really you need stereo, like stereo, just to make up one side, and then continuing into the center, because if I do that, I perceive it spatial, stereo on both ears, as well as, don't forget, if I put earplugs in, I would only hear an in cavity sound and such. So you need, like, and then you got all these buffaloes moving around. Buffalo stampede. Really, Atmos is, to me, Atmos is like a toy for kiddies. Really, serious. It's not, get real now. Come on. Dolby Labs, I don't know what brains they still have, the bloody, and they had that mad scientist at Dolby Labs, but basically, if anyone does it, put an earplug in one side, get something, and you can perceive it. You can perceive direction. You can perceive, movement in it. It's not like, oh, it's not changing anything, you can perceive it, you know. So if I went round outdoors in the real world with an earplug stuck in one side of my ear and listening to the sound, yes, it sounds very different, because we're so used to, or if anyone's born and with no eyesight, no sound, well, anyway, if you've got someone that's just got hearing, it's just like that movie. What was that movie? Was it See No Evil, Hear No Evil? And it's like Dolby Atmos really is evil. It is evil, because you look at all these fancy, glossy Atmos advertisements, and you think, oh wow, you see all these wave things, you like, in this imaginary room, and you think it's going to be like that. Yeah, right, sure. No, it really needs to be like stereo, and round, over and below, so that when two people up there talking. They're basically, you know, if you stand, like I say, you stand between them, you hear them like spatial. Um, yeah, Atmos is like, and for music, please. But at the end of the day, the one thing you cannot do with it is you cannot walk behind it or above it or below it because they're just speakers flat against a wall surface with real sound, like making a sound with that, or hang on, that's a little bit. That sound there is a bit difficult, or doing that. You know, I can move around it. You know, it's in 3 dimension. It's not something that's just been photographed and it's up there in a front focal image with just what 3 speakers behind the screen sometimes. Oh, come on. Even 5 is not enough. 15 wouldn't even be enough. 20 speakers wouldn't even be enough. 30 wouldn't even be enough. It's got to be a lot more. It's got to be a lot more study. And then it's like, say, okay, are they willing to make a system that's not going to be too much like the Atmos that has been around for 13 bullshitting years? Bullshitting everyone, including Dolby Labs. Come on, Dolby Labs, are you kidding yourselves? You're kidding yourselves. You're playing with a toy. And then you got lousy directors and lousy sound mixers. That bloody mix, crikey. Are not, you know. I was just thinking of those buffaloes. I was just thinking, well, how can I make the buffalo even more interesting with the sub bass? Or maybe with the bass, the screen channel, and break up a screen channel, okay, into individual channels, and then put different time delays on purpose to create a kind of stereo effect, like pseudo, what's it called, pseudo stereo. It's like a simulated stereo effect, and you just create a difference and a difference and a difference. I wonder what that would sound like. I just don't have enough speakers to go boom 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 behind the screen to do that, although I could play I could experiment with, because I'm just thinking of buffalo. I'm just going back to the buffalo, back to the buffalo. So you see all the buffalo. You see all the buffalo. They're all individually from a distant point. Kind of like the film mix, which is probably exaggerating something, and they're all grazing and moving slowly. So it's not like they're thundering. But when they're moving, they're all in the individual. You know, hmm. Until there's a discrete system, and it doesn't have to cost. It doesn't have to be aimed for the rich luxury people, really, seriously, because I don't think they're even much thing. But like everyone's seen the Youth Man recent video of that home theater. That's ultimate down to noise criteria 5, NC5. But it's disappointing. The guy doesn't even have 5 speakers behind the screen. He's just got typical 3. Probably doesn't know about Cinerama or 5 screen, or Sony SDDS 5 screen, or well, 70mm for that matter. Yeah, and Atmos in some installations, depending on the width of the screen, usually requires typical 5 screen speakers. Um, yeah, it's not an old. Plus that youth man thing with that video. Oh God, that room. It's got echo reflections all over that room. You don't need a demo in that room. You can hear all the echo reflections. So every time there's going to be sounds coming from those screen speakers, doesn't matter what, because those screen speakers have got sight line with that room, and it's just going to have weird pinging things and causing certain frequencies to be uneven. You can't EQ that out. It just means it's just a nightmare. You might as well that odd awkwardness that room's got at the back where it's angled like that, and it should be just keep it even, or do something that's actually being tested with. And that's the thing you don't see in the Youth Man video. You don't see any actual frequency sweep or frequency graphs of what they're. I couldn't care less. I played Doom 2 here in this home cinema, and yeah, I was seeing low frequency going down to 1 hertz. Big deal. I guess the Buffalo would do that, but they're probably not mixed on this to go that low. But they probably would. You record something and you analyze it in full spectrum, and you see that, oh crikey, it's doing some infrasonic. But back then it's like, yeah, we haven't really got anything really that's going to be able to do that low. And like I say, it's, oh dear, like I say, if you had all this individual buffalo bass, though some of it, is in the surrounds, and the surrounds, they just need to be typically they just need to be literally cover the frigging wall right down to the floor, up to the sea. They need to be boom. Yeah. But then all that plays, and then put some individual time delay, random maybe, and just to get like a to sound like a stereophonic effect. Not using any time delay going on the overheads, where I'm using a time delay on the sides, the side and one part of the back surround, using a time delay that's on the crown amplifier, so it gives a mono sound, mono matrix, mono discrete. It still works well with split or stereo surrounds, and it just gives it an extra kind of like stereophonic spatial, just purposely, just by adding a delay. But I haven't added any on the overheads where I can. But the problem there is they're going into a decoder, so I'll have to have the time delay after it's gone through a decoding. I can't put any time delay going into a decoder, because then it skews up the sound, or skews up the matrix steering. I think this has been remixed. So I'd be pretty sure downstairs in 70 would be if it was 70mm SR, it would be format 46. Oh no, not format 46, format 40. 42, 43, 44, 45. I'm not sure if it's 44 or 45 because it'd be the SR encoding, and then you got though typically most people say format 42. That's Dolby A type noise reduction with mono discrete, and then format 43 is Dolby A type with split surround, and then you got the other formats with the different. But sometimes they just probably leave the processor as it is. Pull the A type cards out and plug in the SR cards. Or you can have another extra module. Now you can switch. It could be wired in, so another module, another 6 SR cards module. Basically same soundtrack but different noise reduction. I wonder if they use the SR for this, because there'll be an A type as well. Buffalo's coming in. Charge. Oh, poor creature. Whoa. Whoa, 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 I tell you, that sounds wow. Not sure if they got any digital noise reduction on this, but oh, I just feel the bass rumble of the stage channel, boom, and then the loudness of the rifle, and then the buffalo going through the sand, going through the dust as that poor creature, going from stage left, and then and it kind of like, it feels like a freight train, I suppose, but I wouldn't know. I've never stood in front of a freight train before, so that'd be a stupid thing to do. But yeah, pretty much that's wow. Poor buffalo. That's got a good sound there. It's got a good sound of the horse, of the hooves. It sounds all natural, sort of sounds acoustically natural, sort of thing. Like, you're outdoors and you can hear this, although there'll be a lot more presence going on that Atmos couldn't even touch. Because they'll probably put the hoof sounds in the bloody overhead. What the fuck?
You all right? You all right?
And does that sound like a gun? No, it's a recording, but it's not distorting or anything. I can't play the scene where it's got the Cisco horse being shot and then the wolf. That I can't even watch that. So I'm not playing those scenes because it just brings tears. It's too upsetting too upsetting. There's one rule in, I think, never harm animals in movies. Though the buffaloes weren't harmed, those were animatronics. A lot of chapters on this, 41 chapters. Wow. Really brings tears to my eyes. Mm. Mm. Wow. Boo, boo, boo. Oh. Oh, yeah, John Barry music's pretty cool. If you can't watch the end credits, you haven't got a pulse. It's some cool music. Strings, harp, and some beef it up on the bass there a little bit. That comes out, and I can feel it going on my chest. Wow. It's got a good mix balance on the stage channel. Unlike listening to crappy Hans Zimmer and his crappy music on end credits, where the center channel's all the way down here and the left and right, you think, what bloody hell's the center channel? You know? Oh yeah, Sean Murphy scoring mixer. Oh yeah. Buffalo effects. Mechanical animatronics. Wow. Does it sound like the same trumpanist, or oh, my ears are pressurized after that. Flipping that. Oh, what do they call this movie? An airbuster? Oh, just those end credits had a lot of bass in it. Flipping that. Sounds like the same trumpanist, maybe Apollo 13, because it's got the same similarity, though there's about a 5 years difference between Dances and Apollo, where, you know, on the end credits where you hear the solo sort of the trumpet sort of like, and it's got of course same scoring next to Sean Murphy, just different composers, but I'm just wondering if it's the same. Probably check the IMDb. But I'm curious because it sounds like it's got the same signature tonality. Boom, 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 boom.